If you love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
Yeah, so my parents, they were just huge race fans. As they grew, well, my dad, when he grew up as a kid, his next door neighbor was, his family was into sprint car racing. So then when my mom and dad started dating, when they were in high school or whatever, they went to races and then still go to lots of races. Took me and my sister to a ton of races to watch growing up, and then he built me a go-kart when I was 4 just to kind of play around with. Yeah, they had like a fun kart track that him and his buddies from work would race, and I would kind of go out there and just play around. And then I started racing when I was 7 competitively, and really been racing most weekends ever since. So yeah, you know, start out in go-karts from 7 to 14, and then sprint cars and midgets from, well, when I was 14 I got in that, and still do it quite a bit. And then 2012 was my first time in a stock car. I mean, I think short track racing is important for all types of racing, not just stock car racing. I don't know, it's just, it's grassroots, you know, it's affordable, way more affordable for a lot of people to do, you know, whether it be, you know, street stocks all the way to, you know, sprint cars or dirt late models. Like it's more affordable, and you can still kind of have your own day job and go race on the weekends. But also, if you're trying to make a career out of it, you can go race a lot. The fan bases are huge. I mean, any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart. So I feel like the short track fan base is honestly probably bigger than our mainstream, you know, fan base. But either way, there's just a lot of racing you can do. You can make a great living at it, and you can make a name for yourself from short track racing. I think my most embarrassing moment in a race car was 2012. I ran the K&N race at Dover, and then I raced a guy's sprint car later that night at Williams Grove. He helicoptered me from Dover to Williams Grove, and my first time in his car, I was, you know, late, so I missed qualifying, so I was gonna have to start, you know, last in the heat race, and wanted to get comfortable with the car, so kind of lagged back under the pace laps to, you know, get a hot lap, I guess, to catch the field. And his brakes were really good and too good. And I remember going into 3 and I lifted and hit the brakes, and it took a hard left, and I hit the inside wall, wrecked, and the fans were, you know, obviously laughing at me and booing me and just making fun of me. And I didn't really like Pennsylvania at that point, so the fans were really tough on me before that, and then especially, you know, during that, they were, you know, screaming at me. So that was definitely my most embarrassing moment. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it changes a lot. You know, it's hard to pick just one as far as, you know, moments for me when I was racing, you know, because I've had a lot of big wins here in the last few years, and they all, you know, mean a lot. So I mean, the Chili Bowl is obviously a really good one. I think that kind of started me being able to calm down and win other big races. So Chili Bowl was a good one. Knoxville Nationals. I really think last year when I won my first dirt late model race in my second start, that was really cool because it was something that I didn't expect to do. And then as far as, you know, like moment as a race fan, I'll never forget sitting in the grandstands. I think it was 2010 Knoxville Nationals, and it was the year that Sammy and Donnie Schatz were going at it, and Sammy ended up, you know, blowing a left rear tire, leading with a few laps left, and the crowd, who, you know, for so long, me growing up as a kid, like, didn't like Sammy and would always boo him and stuff. And, you know, going to Knoxville, Donnie dominates that place, so they were all cheering for him and chanting his name after he broke, and that was just and I was right in the middle of the crowd, so that was a cool moment as a fan. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people to help, but I think the main one was my dad, probably. You know, he got me my start in racing, was really patient with me, you know, growing up and never got upset with me, and I think never put pressure on me to be good or whatever. And so he was probably the one that really helped keep me having fun. Obviously, he didn't have any racing experience, so he wasn't able to like really coach me along as far as driving goes. I mean, he probably obviously did a lot in the early years, but I think as I got older, there was David Robinson Jr. in California, Jonathan Allard, Stephen Allard. I got racing for the Kading family; they were a big help. And then really, I mean, once I feel like I got to like Indiana and out in the Midwest, it's kind of you're not really like necessarily learning, I guess. I mean, you're always learning, but you have less people trying to teach you things. So then you kind of, once you get out in the Midwest, you kind of got to learn on your own. But the early years, I definitely had a handful of guys help me. Well, I think it all kind of helps. I think the cup stuff helps the dirt stuff helps the cup stuff. I don't really view it as anything other than it's all just helping each other out. So just me being behind the wheel a lot and put myself in racing situations and frustrating situations sometimes, challenging myself to be better allows me to get better. So just getting all that experience I think helps. I think the dirt stuff really helps get my restarts and stuff a lot better in Cup, just because the races are so short that you have to be attacking all the time. So, and then I think on the flip side of that, I think the NASCAR stuff helps the patience side of things and staying calm and stuff like that. Yeah, so the Chili Bowl, I had a lot of emotions when I won the first time, just because it'd been a race that I'd been so close to winning. I think it took me like 13 years to win my first one, and probably the 8 years or so previous before that, I was close. You would either have bad luck and blow an engine, or have somebody spin out in front of me on a prelim night, or just make a mistake on my own and let Christopher beat me on the last lap, whatever that year was. So that race kind of haunted me for a long time, and was just awesome to finally put a whole 55 laps together to win and do it in my own team, or with my own team. My first year owning a midget, so with a crew chief who'd never worked on a midget. So yeah, it was just really cool to win that, and then to back it up and win 2 in a row this year was sweet, and definitely makes you want to keep winning.